Okay, well, we made some progress. The biggest thing we did was we installed this fuel line here. I got a small hose clamp I need. The other one was bad, so I'll just I'll grab one of those at the store tomorrow. I have the fuel filter system here. It's all put back together. I just need to put the filters on. I'll finish that tomorrow. I kind of ran out of time today. The big thing that's holding me up is I'm replacing, if you see here, this is the reservoir for the freshwater system, and I have a stainless steel flexible tubing that has to be married up with that, and I just got to get the right fittings, and I keep getting the wrong ones for whatever reason. And then of course that I have another one to go from here to here, and I also need to cut that down to size, so that's been kind of a thing for me. I gotta get done. The other major roadblock that I had was this guy. The old bracket was just a band of metals, very similar to that band of metal holding those on, except it was one piece, and it was in terrible condition. You can see what it did to the old filter here, or heat exchanger. It sort of bent it and a couple places when the metal got a little soft. So what I've done was I had this piece of angle iron. This thing's solid. Painted it up, cleaned it up, and I knew I wanted to use it. It was ideal. I was going to have a bracket welded up, but I didn't want to spend money on that. So I had this in the shop, and I pulled that out, and then I put a T-clamp on there through it, and it's nice and firm. It's a little loose now just because I've got it. It's as good as what was holding this on before, so I think I don't think I've in any worse situation. Plus, once I get the hoses on here, it'll be fine. This hose is stuck on, and as you can see, it's a kind of a tight little space there. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with that, how I'm going to get those off. That's the next big problem. This hose, went nicely and fits nicely in here. Not a problem. So I'll get that figured out. It's coming along. I feel like I've gotten through the most of it. If I can figure out that little stainless steel tube over there, get the right fit for all those components, and it's back together. Also, one other thing up here in the air intake, I did find a Briggs & Stratton filter that I trimmed and got on there, so that's nice because they don't make that filter anymore. And then I put a water overflow on this. You can see up there by the heat gun, there's a tube coming out. One of the tubes is a bypass for the thermostat bypass, so there's always water flowing at some level. And then the other is the overflow, and I put an overflow container there. And I put in fresh, brand new LED lights down below on both sides, so we have light down here. And most of the painting is done, as you can see. That looks good. And so it's nice and clean down here, well, relatively speaking. And I just used Rust-Oleum. There were some guys on the internet kind of figuring out, but there's a specialty paint called Bilge Coat, and that was rather expensive, and I just figured I'd just put some Rust-Oleum down here. It'll be fine for as long as I'll have it, and shoot, who knows, maybe I'll just redo it someday. that's the big news that I've got. Oh, there's the Rust-Oleum. But yeah, oil filter will go on here as soon as I finish putting those components together. I figure I probably have another 5, maybe 6 hours into putting this back together, and it'll be done. And we'll be able to start it up and take it out for a drive.